Hey guys, welcome back to my channel Rewind That. It's your girl Miss K. If this is your first time coming across my channel, welcome. Please be sure to subscribe if you like the vibe and hit that notification bell so you know when I upload more videos like this one. Alright guys, today we're going to be going over the latest episode of The Chi, the season 4 premiere episode number 1 called Soul Food. So the episode starts off with a back and forth between various scenes, right? So we see Kevin roaming through these dark halls with a tux on. And in another scene, we see Keisha in labor and she's come to the point of pushing. And it looks like she's giving birth at home, right? She's having a water birth. All right, we also see a scene of Emmitt who looks like he's locked himself in the bathroom and someone is trying to get in. We eventually see Kevin come across a stairway where he finds Jake and Jemma kissing. And this honestly was not a surprise to me, guys, because I called this last season when I noticed how much Jake so-called hated Jemma. Okay, your friend claiming to dislike your girlfriend or boyfriend isn't always a good sign. All right, so before we get to the next scene, we also see Douda standing on a rooftop and someone comes up there and shoots him. All right, and that was a little surprising to me because if Douda dies, I definitely didn't think it would have been this soon in the game, right? Next, it's 1 month earlier and Kev and Gemma have definitely taken their relationship to the next level. As we saw last season, right, they both lost their virginity to each other. But now we see that Kev has slept over or overslept at Gemma's house. So while he thinks he's being clever by jumping out of her window and getting dressed outside just so he can go ring the bell, little does he know Gemma's father, Mr. St. John, was watching him the whole time through surveillance cameras outside of their house. But the thing that was most interesting to me was how cool Mrs. St. John was to Kevin after seeing everything he was up to with his daughter. Because my dad would have raised all kinds of hell, okay? Anyway, we also see that Kevin's mother is looking for him, wondering where the heck he is. Next, we get to Emmitt's restaurant and we hear some customers talking about Otis Perry AKA Douda. And they're watching the news, which poses the question, gangsta or mayor? So this man and woman who are waiting on the line to order their food, they start making comments about hearing that Mr. Perry is the leader of the 63rd Street mob. Then the woman says, and I know he killed that guy with the food truck. And the man was like, I heard he ain't really dead. I heard he's in witness protection. And I was like, are they trying to drop a hint that Jason ain't really dead? I mean, you know, a girl could dream, right? Anyway, next, Tiff comes into the restaurant and she wants a favor from Dominique to cook up some edibles. But Dominique tells her that she ain't that kind of cook. Then Emmett comes along and he wants to know what Tiff and Dom are talking about because, you know, he's paranoid. He thinks that these two women getting together can only mean one thing, that Dom will tell Tiff that she had sex with Emmett. Anyway, to add to the mess, Darnell and Dom have been dating for about 2 months and Emmett seems to care a little too much for me, right? And it could all just be because he knows that all of this is just too Jerry Springer for him, you know? But unlike Emmett, who wants to keep everything a secret, Dominique tells Darnell that she had sex with Emmett. And, you know, Darnell didn't seem to care at all. But he did make it his business to remind Emmett of what a mess he's found himself in. And he even tells Emmitt that even he would have never proposed to his woman in front of his side chick. And as messed up as Darnell is as a man, he's totally right about his son, who's pretty much learned everything from him anyway, right? Next, Jemma complains about one of their teachers and Jake actually agrees with her, but Kevin doesn't. So Jemma tells Kevin that she wants to be with someone that she could have an intelligent debate with. But to me, it honestly looks like she just wants someone to agree with her because it seems to upset her when Kevin has a difference in opinion. We also saw this in an earlier scene when Kevin agreed with Mrs. St. John and disagreed with Jemma about the whole topic of the Olympics and various things they were talking about. Anyway, seeing Jake and Jemma agree is obviously building toward them coming together and becoming attracted to one another, right? Which will ultimately lead to them kissing 1 month later. Next, Kev and Jake are on their way to a basketball game, and we see Jake changing out of his school uniform while they're on the train. Once they get to their destination, some kid immediately starts trouble with Kev, and Jake defends him. And, you know, he starts arguing with the kid. So the cops are nearby, and one of them asks Jake to show his ID, and Jake refuses and tries to walk by the officer. So the officer slams Jake to the ground and starts beating on him. Maisha records the whole ordeal and Jake is arrested and taken away. This situation was so uncalled for, but I'm glad that it didn't turn out worse for Jake. Next, Keisha meets with a couple who wants to adopt her baby. Unfortunately, the couple doesn't seem to be happily married, and Keisha can sense the tension, so it concerns her. We later find out that the couple is actually going through a divorce and the husband was just doing the lady a favor, right? He was doing a favor for the wife by pretending to be a united front. Only thing is, he didn't do a good job of this because he's the one who kept making slick comments about how much his wife loved the house and how much she loves to help other people. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, it was nice that the woman decided to come clean, but Keisha is determined to have her child raised in a two-parent household. Before we move on, I want to also mention real quick that I don't like how Nina answered for Keisha when the couple asked her if she was sure about giving her baby up for adoption. That question was for the mother of the child, not the grandmother, okay, Nina? Anyway, part of me feels like she might wind up keeping the baby though, you know? But what do you guys think? Do you think Keisha will go through with the adoption? Let me know in the comments below. All right, next, Tracy, Dre, and Jada sit at a restaurant and they talk about her allowing Otis Perry to fund her organization. So Dre and Jada convince Tracy to just go over to Mr. Perry's table and get that money, okay? So she finally does, and the conversation seems to be going well, but Douda gets a call that requires his immediate attention. And we find out that the call has to do with Jake, right? Next, Trig gets to the hospital and he's ready to lose it after seeing his brother brutalized and cuffed to a hospital bed. So when Douda gets to the hospital, Jake isn't happy to see him at all and tells Douda that they're good and they don't need anything from him, right? But Trig was like, I want blood and I want whoever did this in a body bag. But of course, Douda tells Trig to calm down because he has a political image to uphold, right? He can't have people around there thinking he's behind a freaking hit, right? Especially of a police officer. Plus, they're already wondering if this guy is a freaking gangster, so that's just not a good look. Anyway, after Trig tells Douda that he cannot calm down with his little brother cuffed to a hospital bed, Douda tells the police officer to uncuff Jake if he doesn't want to find himself unemployed. Then Trig tells Douda that he wants the charges against Jake dropped. Douda tells Trig that he's going to take care of everything, including the officer who beat up Jake. But Trig was like, what you gonna do, suspend him without pay? Or did he say suspend him with pay? Anyway, I don't remember. But the point is, right, Trig, he doesn't want to hear about the legal way to do things. As he already stated, he wants this cop freaking dead, okay? But Douda says, look, just trust me, I got this, okay? Next, Kev finally comes home and he tells his family that there was an incident with the police, but he does this without explaining anything, right? He just says police when his mom asks, what happened to you? Anyway, we see that he carries on with not wanting to talk about it, but Keisha eventually tells him that holding things in is the worst thing you could do because you eventually start convincing yourself that you probably deserve what happened to you, and then you start wondering if the world is better off without you, all right? She also tells Kevin that he needs to at least talk to Jake, go see Jake. All right, but before we move on, have you guys noticed that Kevin and his family are in a new house? Anyway, just wanted to point that out. All right, so before all of this, Emmitt, Tiff and Dom, and Darnell have a movie night and they're watching Soul Food on a good old VHS, right? But as they're watching it, the infamous scene where Terry exposes her husband for sleeping with her cousin comes up, and Darnell and Tiff are reciting the scene word for word. Meanwhile, Emmitt is sweating bullets because the scene is just too close to home right now. And Dom felt it too, okay? But for me, guys, I think that Emmitt's guilty conscience is definitely going to get the best of him, you know what I'm saying, if he doesn't confess. It was also hard for me to watch this bond forming between Tiff and Dominique because they seem like they could be great friends, but we already know that once this secret gets out, Tiff is going to feel betrayed from both sides, you know what I'm saying? Of course, more from her husband, but also from Dominique, who is smiling in her face and everything, acting like this friend, knowing daggone well she slept with her man. Next, Kev finally goes to visit Jake, and Jake tells Kev that maybe things would have gone differently if he never took off his uniform. But Kev says, no, I was able to walk away because I listened to the police. And guys, I agree with both of them. You know, I feel like Jake may not have been approached if he would have been in his school uniform. At the same time, Kevin is right as well. You know, if Jake would have just shown his ID, things probably would have gone differently and he would have been able to walk away like Kevin did. Anyway, Jake tells Kev that he should have had his back and could have at least recorded the situation, you know? So the funny thing about this moment is that in an earlier scene, Kev told Papa and Maisha that they shouldn't post a video of the incident because Jake wouldn't want people seeing him getting punked by the police. But in this scene, we see how wrong Kevin was about that because Jake was all for catching the incident on camera. Next, just when we thought Mr. Happy Endings was another character just passing through, you know what I'm saying? It's looking like him and Jada are going to start dating because he's definitely taking an interest. And I can't wait to see what Emmitt is going to say about that, all right? But then again, Emmitt might have too much going on in his own life to notice what's going on in his mom's, okay? Next, Douda makes his way back to Tracy's establishment where she continues to paint and work on the place, right? So Douda grabs a paintbrush as well and starts helping her. So one thing that's obvious is the sexual tension between them, and it makes me wonder how far things will go with them and how the relationship will impact the storyline. Next, so we get to the final scene where Trig and Imani wait for a jogger to come through the underpass. Imani, who was on the lookout from a car, calls Trig to let him know that the jogger was approaching. Once the jogger gets close to Trig, Trig knocks him down and starts beating the heck out of the guy, right, with the butt of a gun. And it's safe to assume that this is the cop that beat Jake up. Even though I couldn't see his face clearly, we already know this is the guy, right? So the question is, did Trig kill him or just beat the cop up really bad? And if he killed him, I do believe that this is going to be a serious problem. At least that's what I would think, right? Now, that was the episode, guys. Let me know what you guys thought. I felt like this was a pretty good season premiere, and I can't wait for more. I honestly don't really know what to expect from this season, but as the episodes come, we'll be right here to talk about it, right? All right, that was the video for today. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you know when I upload more videos like this one. Until next time, I'll see you in the next video. You guys take care and be blessed. Bye-bye.